All cameras do pretty much the same thing, but why does this camera cost $100,000 and even more when this one is only $500? To figure it out, let's have a look at 3 cameras that I have today here and try to find out the difference that they have. They all have different price points, and to create some kind of order, we're going to move up the price, starting with the cheapest one. Our first contender is Canon 200D or Rebel SL2, depending on country you're living in. It costs approximately $500. It's a perfect beginner's camera, but why is it so cheap? Well, let's start with obvious things. It's made almost entirely out of plastic. It's got an APS-C sensor, which will result in 1.6 times crop compared to a full frame. This sensor is capable of producing video only in 1080p and up to 50 frames per second. Also, this video file is going to be 8-bit, which means not so much room to maneuver in post. It's also worth mentioning that it's a hybrid camera, meaning that it can take stills as well as videos. There is a problem with hybrid cameras. They cannot record video indefinitely, meaning until your card is full, and is usually limited to 25 or 30 minutes of record time. This is due to the fact that true cinema cameras have to be registered differently, and I assume it's more expensive. Nonetheless, the camera is great for beginners and even has a kit lens coming with it. Why would you need more? Let's move on to a totally different beast. Welcome Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 6K Pro. This camera retails for $2,500. The first noticeable difference is that this camera is quite bigger despite the word pocket in its name. This camera looks like it's built out of plastic too, although Blackmagic claims it's not. It's got a Super 35 sensor that produces almost the same crop as APS-C sensor and cannot even make stills. So why is it more expensive? Actually, you cannot find a better video camera at this price point. You see, the first huge deal is the resolution. It's 6 times higher than the standard 1080p that a little fella can produce. But it's not even the biggest advantage that this camera has. It can produce raw 12-bit video files, which still blows my mind. Raw capability allows you to alter ISO and white balance after the fact on post. It has a lot of room to play with thanks to 12-bit image it's capable to capture. Those are the specs that used to present only in ridiculously expensive cameras. Now, thanks to Blackmagic, it's not even the most expensive camera that I have here with me for this video. Let's move to the most expensive one today, Canon 1DX Mark II. This camera retails for $6,000 and it's crazy expensive. Why so much money, goddammit? First of all, it's got full frame sensor, which immediately makes it more expensive. It's capable of making stills and videos up to 4K. It can produce slow-motion videos in 1080p up to 120 frames per second. But Blackmagic can produce 120 FPS in 2.8K, so why is it more expensive? This camera is made out of magnesium alloy, meaning it's not going to break easily. I even saw a video where this camera was thrown into a fire and was still working. Also, it can capture stills at whopping 16 frames per second. And most importantly, it's a camera for sports photographers. For the ability to capture Olympic runners, for example, they will pay any price. Why did I purchase it? You would be right if you said that there are cameras out there with the same or even better specs for lower price. But when you take all the factors in consideration, like autofocus, robustness, color science, it's really hard to beat this camera. Why was I talking about all of that? All I wanted to say is that depending on what you need, there is a camera out there waiting for you. All you need to do is to know what is it you need it for. Thank you for watching. Bye.